Prime Minister has announced fast-track courts. The opposition says it's not enough. Students are still protesting and Parliament remains disrupted. The battle over India's examination system has now entered a new phase. On Thursday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that the government will set up fast-track courts to ensure swift trials and strict punishment for those involved in examination paper leaks. But within minutes, the announcement was rejected by the opposition and student protest groups who say punishment alone won't fix the system. So why isn't the government's latest move ending the controversy? Well, in a post on X, Prime Minister Modi said nothing is more important than the future of India's youth. He said the centre has directed authorities to establish fast-track courts so that paper leak cases can be investigated and tried more quickly. He also warned that those who play with the future of our youth would not be spared. The announcement comes after weeks of protest over alleged irregularities in competitive examinations, particularly the NEET paper leak. At first glance, the fast-track courts appear to address one of the biggest concerns: delays in justice. Paper leak investigations often take months or even years to conclude. Fast-track courts are meant to speed up trials and ensure that those found guilty are punished more quickly. But that's only one part of the problem. The protesters say their demands go much further. They argue that punishing those responsible after a paper leak is important, but preventing leaks in the first place is even more critical. The Congress has reiterated its demand for the resignation of Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. The Cockroach Janata Party, which has been leading the protest at Delhi's Jantar Mantar, has also said the Prime Minister's announcement does not answer the question of accountability. Its leaders argue that unless responsibility is fixed at the highest levels, students will continue to lose confidence in the examination system. The political confrontation has also spilled into the parliament. Opposition MPs staged protests demanding a discussion on examination reforms, while proceedings in the Lok Sabha were repeatedly disrupted. Outside parliament, security has been significantly tightened. Several Delhi metro stations in central Delhi were temporarily closed as authorities prepared for fresh demonstrations. Meanwhile, the Delhi High Court is set to hear a petition seeking an NIA investigation into the recent Sansad Chalo protest and the violence that followed. The violence has now become another point of dispute. Delhi police says more than 100 police personnel were injured after protesters allegedly threw stones and damaged public property. The police have also released CCTV footage which they say shows attacks on security personnel. Protest organizers, however, have questioned the police response and continue to allege excessive use of force during demonstrations. The bigger question now is whether fast-track courts will be enough to restore students' trust. The government believes faster investigation and stricter punishment will deter future paper leaks. The opposition and protesters argue that deeper reforms are needed, from improving examination security to fixing institutional accountability. For now, one thing is clear: the debate has moved beyond a single examination. It has become a national conversation about the credibility of India's education system, and that debate is far from over.